Who's the biggest clown on the internet right now? Oh yes, it's me. I was not strong. I bought the 4 Quints and we will do looks with every single one of these. So the first look is going to be Sunset Romance, then Bronze Ecstasy, then Bordeaux Bliss, and the last one is going to be Lunar Nightshade. I'm currently wearing on this eye Bordeaux Bliss and here Lunar Nightshade, so you know what to expect in this video. But before we head into the tutorial, I have to swatch all of them. So I already used these, but I haven't swatched them, but maybe you want to have some comparisons. And if this is not your first day on the channel, you know when I swatch things, I need my glasses. So we're starting with the Sunset Romance. So we have Glowing Desire, Suede Sienna, Mink Mirage, Sun-Kissed Rose, and Petalic Passion. To be honest, these swatches are horrible. They swatch horrible, but let me promise you just a little spoiler, they do not apply horrible. So next up we have Bronze Ecstasy, and I am the worst swatcher in the world, so I have to hold my arm like that. But it starts here with Starlit Champagne, Merlot Mystique, Honey Nectar, Twilight Taupe, and Enchanted Bronze. These are the first two very, very neutral quads, and the quads are Quints, and the first two we're doing looks with. In case you're new here, I am the worst eyeshadow swatcher in this motherfucking world because I cannot coordinate my swatches and the fact that my arm turns in a very weird way. So here you have the swatches of the Bordeaux Bliss. Platinum Rosewater, Ruby Noir, Naked Sunset, Mauve Mystique, Cosmic Garnet. And none of these are actually matte in this quint. All of them have somewhat of a shimmer going on. The mattest out of them is actually Cosmic Garnet because it has a very matte base, borderline satin base, but it has gold flecks going through. And Ruby Noir is one of the new formulations where you have this black base going on, or like nearly black base, and then just specks of a certain shade too. This is a very flaky formulation, but it's a very beautiful one. And next up we have the Lunar Nightshade one, Platinum Moonlight, Midnight Iris, Pale Amethyst, Noir Nebula, and Neptunian Orchid. But now I don't want to waste your time anymore. Let's head into the first tutorial. And then at the end of the video, I will tell you my final thoughts on these. I mean, I used them only once, but with eyeshadow, I can usually tell after one use if I like them or not. And I will also give you my the top ranking of these and whether you should or you shouldn't buy them. Okay, so let's start with this eye, and I'm using the Sunset Romance for that. By the way, if you see weird cuts, the way I film this, I will now film like this upper lid, then this upper lid, then this lower lid, and this lower lid, and then I would cut it like together. That's why you might see when I do certain things that I have already done this eye. So just for information, because I think it might be too distracting if I like film everything in once and you see me just hopping between the palettes. That's not the point here. But also the point is not rambling around, so let's get into the Sunset Romance. I have to admit that I like the fact that in this 5-pan you this year get 2 mattes, well, depending of course on the version, because in the Bordeaux Bliss and the Lunar Nightshade are not 2 mattes. I think in the Bronze Bliss it's not even 1 matte. But I'm starting this look out with this 4th shade, like the 2nd matte, and this is called Sun-Kissed Rose. And I take this on a fluffy brush that has a bit of a stain going on, so if you see something yellow, it is not transferring, it's just a bit stained from my eye look that I did. I like this. It goes on so easy, and I can already tell you that this is the better Pat McGrath matte formulation. This is better than Mothership matte. I have so much struggle with Mothership mattes because they are always patching their shit around. But this, I mean, look at the smoothness. Love it. I'm now going in with another stain brush. I swear to you, they're just stained. They're fine. They have no like blue color payoff. It's just a stain from, you know, eyeshadow that is quite pigmented. I'm now using the darker matte, which is called Suede Sienna. And I just used this very classic to deepen up the crease. Wow. Is this the most boring crease application ever to be seen? Fuck yeah, but I like it. I'm also tapping back into the light matte and just diffuse it a bit better because I just draw too much of the darker matte on top. And since we're working with Pat McGrath, I just pulled out my Intensifies Artistry wand again, where I still have no fucking clue what the heck this is going to change on my eye, because it's literally just a like balm and nothing else. But I don't know, I thought it might be matching to use this today. And I'm starting with Mink Mirage, which is actually a very beautiful eyeshadow shade. Oh. The thing is, when I do these looks, I haven't done the swatches because I will film the swatch portion when I'm done with all looks. So I'm going in quite blind. But I apply this Mink Mirage shade, starting on the inner part. And I'm bringing this nearly all over the lid, but I'm leaving out this last part. Because for the outer third, I want to use this shade, which is the Petalic Passion. And this looks really intense. This is also the one that I smashed when I filmed my Insta story. So sad. And I apply this on the outer part. To be honest, the shade is a bit different and I am quite surprised that it's actually flaking in the pan. I mean, this is the way it looks like on the brush when I swipe through the pan. You see those little flakes? It's not an even coating. This reminds me so much of indie eyeshadow. They basically work the same way when you touch them. But I mixed both now together. I'm going back into a bit of that Mink Mirage shade, just to have a better blend in the center. Okay, so for the lower lash line, we're going like the classic way. I'm starting with Sienna Suede, which is the darker one. And I just apply this on the outer part of the lower lashes like that. And I always connect it with like the upper blend. I'm now tapping into this one. The Sunkissed Rose shade with a small like pencil brush, and I start blending in the center, then inwards, and then I go a bit on top of this to have just like a very seamless blend going on. And for inner corner highlight, we're using the Glowing Desire shade, and then we have used all 5 shades. And I always drag the inner corner highlight a bit into the crease. Now let's do the upper lid for the second eye, and I'm using the, I mean, you can't tell which one it is, but it's the Bronze Ecstasy. I'm starting with Twilight Taupe, and I'm using a very fluffy blending brush. And I just apply this as transition color. This is a very intense transition color. I probably should have been a bit more like, I don't know, careful. But I mean, do you see that? This is what I meant when we did this look. I mean, when we do this look, I'm done with this, you know what I mean. The mattes in these 5-pan palettes are worth it. They just set alone are worth it because they are so much better than the Mothership mattes. I have no idea what the brand is doing different in these, but the formulation is just different. Believe me, it's different. I'm not crazy. I'm now going into Merlot Mystique, which has actually kind of a reddish tint to it. And I apply this to deepen up crease and in this outer V area. But I'm also taking this very lightly through the complete crease because with these 2 eye looks, I have to go grocery shopping today. And probably nobody will notice, but when you do 2 different eye looks, you want to have them kind of balanced out. Like, don't do a halo eye and a classic cat eye. Do both halo eyes, for example, then nobody will notice. I like that, and it was super easy. So let me now just smear this Artistry one on the lid too. And I think the most delicious shade in this Quint is the Enchanted Bronze. It's this one. It looks so freaking stunning. I want to use that, but we're starting with Honey Nectar, which is the one in the middle. They are different. You cannot convince me otherwise. They have indie brand quality. I'm talking about the flakes. And I'm applying this light shade, starting again on the inner part. And I'm also leaving the outer lid bare because now we're tapping into Enchanted Bronze. And I apply this on the outer third, bringing this also into the center. Wow. I grabbed a bit more of that Honey Nectar shade and I just intensify the inner part and the bit on the center just to tap back into enchanted bronze and create just a very seamless blend in the center. So for this lower lash line, we're also keeping it quite classic. So I'm going into a Merlot Mystique, the darker matte shade. And I basically do the same as on the other eye. I apply this on the outer part, connect it with the upper blend. And then I tap into Twilight Taupe, either with a pencil or one of those like super dense shader brushes. And I also start the blend in the center, going inwards and then just underneath the darker shade. And I'm going into Starred Champagne for the inner corner highlight. So here we also have used now every single shade. And as per usual, I start applying this on the inner corner, take a bit on the lower lash line and drag it into the crease. To be honest, this shade needs a bit more build up than I wish, which surprises me a bit. Okay, so these are now the two finished looks on this eye with the Sunset Romance palette and on this eye with the Bronze Ecstasy. I think it's very clear that both of these palettes have the exact same vibe. And if you consider buying one of these and you're not sure which one, I think the question you should ask yourself is, do I want to have the vibe in a neutral, kind of cool, but not too cool look, but also not very warm, like on this eye? Like to me, it's a true neutral look. Or do I want to have this vibe, but with a pink tone? Depending on what your preference is, I don't think that you can make a mistake with either of those. They are both stunning. And if you're like me and you actually like both vibes with both tones, I can actually tell you buy them, because so far, these two for first impression, I mean, you see my face, I'm happy. I am super surprised on how much I like them, but now let's go forward in time and let's try the other two. So we move 48 hours in the future. Let's now tackle the other two palettes, and we're starting actually with Bordeaux Bliss. I know. Most people I think are the most excited about the Lunar Night shade, but we will save that for the last. Hopefully that's not a mistake and we won't get disappointed. So in the Bordeaux Bliss, we don't really have a matte, which is confusing to me, I'm honest, because I thought all of them are matte, but the most, no, there is no matte. This one, this is Mauve Mystique. This could be a matte, but it has kind of tiny flecks through it, but we will use this for the most matte part on the eye. The good thing with Pat McGrath mattes is they're quite buildable, and does not matter if it's now the Mothership mattes that I personally don't like that much, or these. You can apply them very sheer, or you can build them up. It's quite easy. So I will be tapping into, what's the shade name? Mauve Mystique. And I use a bit of a denser crease-shaped brush. Crease-shaped? What is crease-shaped? But I apply this into the crease. I go directly in, and yeah. The golden flecks that are in this shade are definitely visible, so if that is a turn off for you, I can see how people are maybe a bit disappointed in this one because of the missing matte. I actually built this shade up quite heavy in the crease, and then I take a clean brush and I go over the edges to give it a smooth blend. So I applied a layer of the Artistry wand on my eye, and I still don't know what the fuck this is going to do, but we just do it for the vibe, and because I did it for the first two palettes. You know what, this time we start with the darkest, and we're tapping into Ruby Noir. This is apparently kind of a new formulation. They're noir shades, as they call this, and I see it. Let me give you a close-up, and here's your close-up on the brush. I'm honest with you, this looks freaking stunning. But I probably packed a bit too much on the brush, so let me just knock it off, and a whole chunk of eyeshadow just fell off my brush. Okay, but it's okay. So use this and tap this on the most outer third of my lid. With shades like these, I always suggest do your eye makeup first. Because you see, I can now work very, very messy, and we will clean that up later, but I'm honest with you, it looks fucking stunning. It's basically going on very dark black, but not black. There is still a red undertone, and then you have these specks throughout them. and they're not falling out. That is very impressive. Usually with shades like that, you get a like glitter fallout, but not this time. So let's now tap into Cosmic Garnet, and because I'm a lazy bitch, I take the same brush, but I just flipped it. Okay, this is now again very soft in the formulation, just like the metallic shades from the other two palettes. And I use this in the center. I always just tap it on where I want to have the most color, and then I go a bit back into and I tap on top of this edge to give it a nice blend. We're now going into Naked Sunset, which is the one in the middle. Well, this is also the smooth formulation. Oh, I'm so far very happy with these, and I go with Naked Sunset on the most inner third of my lid, and I carefully blend this into the Cosmic Garnet shade. Since we're quite limited with the mattes here, I'm going into Mauve Mystique again, but this time with a more dense like smudger brush. And I just smudge this along my lower lash line. I want to mimic some of the darkness on the outside too, so I take the same brush and I just go into, what's it called, the Ruby Noir? I can't remember these names, but just, I tap it just a bit with an edge. And then I very, very soft press and blend this into this outer part. Just like so. I don't want to have the darkness all along the lower lash line. I just want to mimic some of the shadow. And I completely applied powder into my eye area. And for inner corner highlight, we have Platinum Rose Water left, which is a very nice shimmery pink tone. And I apply this on the lower lash line. I don't know what's with my brain. It's completely fucked up today. But yeah, I drag it into the lower lash line, apply it in the inner corner, and also drag it into the crease. Ignore this side, because now we are starting with this eye, and for this we're finally using the Lunar Nightshade palette. And I'm honest with you, out of those 4 Quints, this is the one I'm the most excited about. To be honest, I'm a bit confused by the choice of the matte shade. This is called, what's it called? Oh, Midnight Iris, but we will work with that because I don't want to incorporate any other shades or palettes when I do tests like this. And I loaded up my brush probably way too far, or like it's way too much. Yeah, okay. Okay, we will work that in. We can still save the day. So I apply the majority directly into the crease so that we have quite a heavy crease color. Like that. And I take a very clean brush. Like, what is cleaner than clean? I take a clean brush and I just go over the edges. So let's now smear some of this artistry wand all over the lid. So I want to mimic the same vibe that we have on this eye, so that's why I will start with Noir Nebula. And I am very, very impressed with the Noir formulation on this eye. So hopefully it will look just as beautiful as on this eye, but with a blue vibe. So I take this and I apply this in tapping motions on the most outer V area. But may I just tell you how fucking beautiful this Noir Nebula shade is? I'm crying. No, I'm not, because I don't want to ruin this eye look. I'm now tapping into Neptunian Orchid. What a tongue twister thing. And I apply this into the center of my lid. And then I tap on the edge of the dark shade to give it a nice gradient. So I'm now taking Pale Amethyst here in the center. And this goes on the inner part of the lid. Oh shit. Oh, I think I peed myself out of excitement. What a beautiful shade. This could also work as a fantastic inner corner highlight, but I want to use every shade of this palette, so choices, choices, choices. But do you see, it exactly happened what I kind of had in mind. This blue does not work with this purple. But we try to save it. I tap back into the matte shade, but not as intense as the first time, and I go over these edges with the same brush I applied it initially with to kind of mush it together. So let's do now the lower lash line on this eye with the Lunar Night shade, and I'm actually not sure what to do because I don't like the way this purple looks, but I have to use it. So we will be very, very experimental today. I'm tapping into Nora Nebula with one of those flat brushes, but that is a bit thicker. Oh, maybe that was a mistake because of the texture. Okay, no. We can make this work. We will not give up. And what I do is I press this into the lower lash line, but not only on the like outer part. Fuck, it always picks up too much. Not only on the outer part. I do this all the way until the like inner corner. I'm now taking the shortest smudger brush that I own. I go into Midnight Iris and I use this to blend that out. Okay, this did exactly what I wanted to because it is still covered with the purple, but it's like giving more dimension on the lower lash line. For inner corner on this eye, I'm using Platinum Moonlight. Oh. Okay. Bring some into the lower lash line and then some into the inner corner as usual. I was not expecting this, I'm honest. So these are now the two looks with the Bordeaux Bliss and the Lunar Night shade on my eyes. To be honest, I like this side more than this side, but I like the colors on this side more. Again, my main problem is actually the choice of matte. I don't think this is matching. I don't like the way they kind of clash together. I don't like the vibe that it's getting, but quality-wise, they're as good as the other two. The longer I stare at this eye on this side, the more I start to like it, but still, I don't think that a violet is the perfect choice for that. Why not go with even a blue? Because every other of those palettes has a monochromatic vibe going on. Why not this? Why not having, instead of this purple, a blue, but with a very gray undertone? Do I have a shade like that? Yes, I do. Wait a moment. I just grabbed my Viseart Petite Cool Matte and I'm thinking of a shade maybe like this one, this grayish blue, or maybe even darker, but a bit more of a gray tone in there. That could be the solution for this quint to make this my favorite out of them. So now some final thoughts on these. Do you need them? The answer is a very clear, a very safe, I'm not sure. Let's talk about this question on different levels. First of all, price level. These retail when you buy them single for I think 38 euro. And I think it's also $38, something like that. If you buy them in a set, it's 130 euro, I think. But remember, MCGRATH is always glitching. There's always some kind of fucking code going on that gives you at least 10 to 20% off. If you want to wait to a Black Friday sale, I'm not sure if these are going to be included because if I remember right, the newest collections are never included in her sales. But even if you buy them full price, I think 38 euro for a quint is okay. It's not Charlotte Tilbury priced. It is not Prada priced. Okay, I think. It's definitely an okay price in my opinion. Let's talk about the packaging level. It's cardboard, yes. But what do you expect? Do you expect a heavy, maybe even metal-plated palette for 38 euro? Then these quints would be Charlotte Tilbury priced. Then these quints would be Prada priced. Then we would pay for this quint, I don't know, 60 bucks or 70. I think for 38 money, the cardboard is okay. And I just want to mention, this is not the same cardboard as on the Star Wars collection. Whatever went wrong there, it was cardboard covered with stickers, which is this one too, but it's made better. This is the same thick and also, in my opinion, very sturdy quality cardboard that we got last year in the Christmas collection. I like that actually a lot. Do I like the pink and the ribbons? Absolutely not. But that's a whole other story. My two favorites, and I can't decide one or two, that's why I take them both on the first place, are actually the Bijoux is the name, the Bordeaux Bliss and the Bronze Ecstasy. these two are my favorite. And I see how these two can absolutely work magically together. These can probably create looks that will look better than any mothership. Number 2 is, and even though I do have such a problem with the matte, is still the Lunar Night shade. I thought this is my favorite, but it actually isn't. But this, it is worth for these 3 shades. They are fucking stunning. And my least favorite is the Sunset Romance, but that has more so to do with the color story. It's basic, it's pink, it's giving solitary pillow talk vibes, and that's not my vibe. Even though I like the look that I came up with, I mean, it's very basic, and sometimes I want to have that. So it's good, and it's good quality. That I just want to mention. This is fucking good quality. These are better than motherships, I'm just saying. And I'm talking about the new motherships. These are better in quality, the mattes and the metallics. I am happy that I proved myself so wrong with my first initial thoughts when I saw the collection, but I'm also happy that I limited myself and got only these, because I think I will not be happy with the big palettes. Personally, I wish for an 18 pan palette again, because I collected these the past 3 years and I'm actually a bit sad that there's no 18 pan this year. But let me please know down below, which one of these looks was your favorite? 1, 2, 3 or 4? Which palette of these Quints are you now consider buying? Or did I just show you that you definitely do not need them? If so, let me also know that. And if you have them by yourself, let me know which one is your favorite. So I have a lot of questions to you. See. Okay, don't forget to check out the info box. There are all the fun links and shit. And I will see you in the next one.